If AI has you lost and frustrated and you do not know how to make money with your laptop in 2026, I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can and what you should sell to make money. My name is Sean Rakic. I built the largest Airbnb coaching program in the world. My students have made billions of dollars, and my portfolio does $1 million a month. And before I built this all, with multiple businesses reaching over 7 figures, I was homeless, living out of a van. And I started a little company that sold newspaper subscriptions. And I was trying to figure it out without a mentor, without direction, and it took me a long time to get to where I'm at today. I just turned 40 years old. And I'm going to save you a decade by giving you my take on AI, on business, on content, and that way you can go forward with some clarity after this video. All that I ask is that you maybe like the video if you feel like I've earned it by the end. Just don't forget. Please write this down. AI is a market force. It is a pressure upon the masses. We all see AI every day. If I pulled out my phone right here and I started scrolling on Instagram or on Facebook, I would see masses of AI generated content, and I can tell what is AI, and I know that you can tell too. And I want you to think about what this means for you. The best way for you to make money in the AI world is actually to do something that's a bit anti-AI. And for the sake of this video, I want to give you a couple examples of this. What cannot be replicated by AI without being dishonest, which of course we're starting honest businesses here, aren't we, is reputation and personal testimonial. You can't copy that. AI can create a false personal testimonial, and you can't scale a business on a falsehood like that. AI can try to replicate someone else's reputation, but that again is false and unscalable. If you do not have reputation yet, then lean on personal testimonial. If you have some reputation, lean into that. Like the beginning of this video, I have taken students to make billions of dollars in the Airbnb space, and I can lean on that reputation. And I can say, Google me, and you can find out that it's true. But the point of this, what's so important is that you can trust that I have lived experiences that can give you context to help you build a business, to help you make more money. With AI, we just know that it's processing a bunch of trash on the internet, Reddit threads. We all know how much we cannot trust AI to think strategically or to really truly give us high-level advice. Because we all know that AI can take us to average fast, but it can't take us beyond average almost never. The only way that we can get more than an average result is if we are better than average in the space that we're using AI in. And you know this to be true. I know you know this to be true. And we can talk about it in the comments. Tell me a story of some AI slop in your business down in the comments, because I can give you a ton myself, where the better I am at something, the more that I find myself correcting AI and finding out that it's incessantly wrong all the time on matters that I'm an expert. Tangent, back, reputation, trust. If you are looking to start a business and you want no nonsense, real advice, you're going to go find a business expert, and they will lean on their reputation more than ever now in the world of AI. Because AI is constantly going to quote them and repackage stuff and do a terrible job of repurposing their content. This happens to me in the Airbnb space all of the time. Let me actually show you a screenshot. The percentage of traffic that my blogs get teaching Airbnb is more than 50% bots. Those bots crawl to find information and repurpose that stuff. There are other Airbnb coaches like Mike Schongren and 10xBnB that scrape the internet for Airbnb information, looking for cool ideas for their Instagrams, and they scrape my sites. And as an expert in the space, it's comical to see the outputs that these AIs will create because they are watered down. And you as a consumer of AI know that this happens. So you would rather go to the source of the information than to get some thrice processed AI summary. And what this means for you is you'll need to generate a story over time that you can really hang your hat on, where you can make a promise to somebody that if you learn from me, I promise you it's not going to be an AI iteration of some anonymous stranger's content that I'm trying to claim as my own. It's not going to be plagiarized. You will truly get thought leadership. There's another word I want you to write down and circle: thought leadership. Every educational creator in any space seeks to have the authority of thought leadership. Now, we are not talking about content creation solely in this video. So let me back out and let me remake a promise to you. We're laying a platform here. If you're going to sell anything, you are likely going to be using content in which to sell it. If you're starting a small business, you will likely be using your personal story or your personal credentials to launch that business. And I highly recommend that this is the direction that you look to go in, because in the world of AI slop, if you do not have a story, you do not have a business, okay? Because the only thing that you'll be able to do is use AI like everyone else and be just like everyone else and you'll be battling to be average against a field of more and more and more average volume. Think of it like white noise. There's tons of AI content out there. There's tons of new businesses. There's tons of new code. I'm using Lovable and Claude, and I'm building all sorts of cool stuff. And the stuff that I'm not good at, my outputs are average. And so now I've got all this code that I spend thousands of dollars on, and I'm not using it for any special reason or selling it to anybody for any real value. But what I have built with Lovable and with Claude and with my OpenClaw agents is I've built a software that helps people enhance their photos for their Airbnb listing. Now, here's that reputation personal story part, because I want to tell you about the Facebook ad that's running this whole thing. The B&B Photo Factory uses ChatGPT, takes a photo, makes it better. The prompt that makes it better comes from my experience. I have made a series of prompts that say this photo has an output to be an Airbnb listing photo, but beyond the generic attempt of you making an Airbnb listing photo, let me dump my 11 years of host experience into this and tell you exactly what needs to change and why under certain conditions. So my company is a series of prompts, recognizes a photo, creates outputs. But now here's the power. Here's the business stuff that comes in from this. Not only do we need to do this, but we need to do this easily, right? In a world of AI products, you want to build for lazy, you want to build for stupid. And I was able to triple my revenue by building for lazy. I'll tell you how this works. Version 1 of the site was landing page, makes a promise, shows before and afters, proves that the thing is worth your time. It would redirect you to a form where that form would ask for your information, and then you would upload photos. One at a time, batch upload, whatever, and you do it per room, and then you'd pay for your order. This is not bad. It was a good V1, but people would still have to upload photos, right? One at a time. So what tripled the money? The same landing page that makes the promise has an area for a link that says upload your Airbnb listing, right? That's it. Upload your Airbnb listing. They click go, goes to a new page, counts the number of photos, capture those photos and say, we have 24 photos that we're going to improve. Pay this much money. They click go, Stripe payment, done. So copy, paste, click, approve, click, done. There's very few actions now, and someone has 24 photos in the pipeline. By building this lower inertia to get the order completed, we've now tripled our daily revenue because there's less in the way of someone successfully completing their order. This is building for lazy. Now, building for dumb, I'm working on a N8N competitor, and it's not nearly done yet. So we're going to talk about this later. But what I've built is a software where, just like N8N, you can build workflows and automations, but instead of you having to know how to build it, you talk to a co-pilot, kind of like Lovable, and say, I want this product. I want this to do that. And it builds it for you on the screen. You can watch it build. And because of this, that way, you know how it got where it got, and you know what things do, and you still have all the power of N8N to make the customizations, but you don't have to know how to build with N8N because the software builds itself. It's self-repairing. It does all the things. That is building for dumb. And that's not an offense, right? If you're not a programmer, you're not a developer, you're not an engineer, you don't know how to use N8N, the learning curve is steep, right? So we've cut the learning curve so that way to get a powerful result, you have to be less knowledgeable. And isn't that how AI is really working, right? We're trying to give people the best result for the most minimal input, the most minimal amount of mental load, you could say. And so let's tangent into that a little bit because I want to make sure that you and I are on the same page about AI. Got a lot of opinions. No one makes money in AI unless they are the top X%. And X is a variable here. Let me explain. You could be a failing student, 30%, 40%, 50% failing student. You use AI, you can get a B- score on a paper, right? AI will get you to average or to B-. So that means that no one's going to pay any money anymore for anything that's B- or worse. No one's going to pay any money for that because anybody can get that result for minimal effort. The money that is now made in every industry everywhere is at B+, A-, A+, up there. And B- is arbitrary. I might be being too generous. It may be A or A+ only is where the money is made, except for a caveat. The personal testimonial. Here's another project that I'm working on, and this will really drive it home. And this is how you make some serious money with AI right now. Because you can build a product with AI like I did with the B&B Photo Factory. You can build a product with AI like I just did for my Peptide business. I launched a peptide business with some friends. We're making some passive income, selling some peptides. It's a little bit gray market. We're finding our way around. It's been tough. I've been banned on Shopify. I've been banned on Stripe. I've been banned on WAP. I've been banned on Instagram. It's been a lot of work, right? But now that I know how to build this business, I have two powerful opportunities. And I promised you a video about the B&B Photo Factory. So now let's do this all together. First, let me show you the B&B Photo Factory ad. Second, let me show you a peptide personal testimonial. And then third, let me show you my peptide coaching business promise, okay? What I have done and what I'm going to try to express to you now in an organized way is the power of using me versus using AI to drive home the final point of decision-making for any of my products, even if they are 99% AI. The last 1% has to be human, okay? Write that down, right? The last frame, the thing that the people see, that has to be human. Everything else can be AI. So first, let's run this ad that's making all the money for the B&B Photo Factory. This Airbnb guest breaks a table and 2 chairs, and I've got to get that table replaced before the next guest checks in. And there's a whole bunch of problems. First, I can't find the same table, so I've got to buy a different one. It's not going to match the photos. 2, my reservations are back to back. I'm 100% occupied. So in a couple hours, I've got to bring this new table in, set up the chairs, and take photos, and get the photos updated before the next guest checks in. And thank God for the B&B Photo Factory, because after I set up that table, I was able to take photos with my iPhone, upload them to an AI, and the AI gave me back professional quality listing ready photos. And because the listing was already live, I only needed a few photos, and the B&B Photo Factory just switched to a per photo model. So for just a few bucks, I was able to update all of the necessary photos on my listing. Now this listing is 100% occupied, and you know what the secret is? All of my photos are B&B Photo Factory photos. I'm getting high conversion rate, high ADR, and 100% occupancy because I rely on the B&B Photo Factory to make sure that all of my photos are top quality. And this AI understands that these are short-term rentals, so they will update and change my photos ever so slightly to be more attractive for short-term stays. They understand that it's not just real estate photography, but we are marketing a beautiful experiential stay. So whether you're launching a new listing fast and you need photos today, or you can't find a good professional photographer to work with you, or the professional photographers are too expensive, you can use the B&B Photo Factory and their photo tutorials to just copy what works. You can have an iPhone 8. Your camera doesn't have to be that good because the B&B Photo Factory regenerates all the photos. And if you already have wonderful photos and you don't want to spend a lot of money on new photos and you just need a few updated ones, you can upload one photo at a time to the B&B Photo Factory and just pay a few dollars for some new photos. I'm using the B&B Photo Factory for all of my listings now. It is the future of short-term rentals. There's going to be a link for you to try the B&B Photo Factory. Click that link. Let me know what you think. I'll see you on the other side. You'll see with this post, I start with a story. An Airbnb guest broke my furniture, and I had to replace it right away. As an Airbnb host, you see me putting the furniture together, taking some photos, my personal testimonial. I use the B&B Photo Factory, and I got a result. That's a personal testimonial, and that ad is making me money. That is doing some ROAS. It's really good. We're spending $50 a day on the ad. Currently, as I look at my screen, we're halfway through the day and we're $212 of revenue. So that is better than 4x ROAS. Some days we do as much as $500 a day. It's beautiful, okay? That one ad, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, etc., personal testimonial, okay? Next, let me show you an Instagram post that I made about peptides. This is from my photo reel. I took peptides for the very first time in 2020, and I got a transformation that I'm so proud of. I also took peptides again, read a True Tide for the very first time a couple months ago, and I'm going to be doing some posts about that transformation. My personal transformation story is proof that someone like me, Eastern European body type, XYZ, looked X amount of nasty, got X amount of results, and now I'm happy. That personal testimonial has gotten me tons of interest for not only taking peptides, but also to learn how to start a business selling peptides. And that leads me to number 3. I've started a coaching program with a very small group of students to teach them how to start a peptide business just like I did. And it includes a lot of things. It includes a license to my website, the same website that I use to run my Olympus Peptide Labs. I spent a ton of time building this with Lovable, but if someone was going to pay for some boutique agency to develop the code base for this site, they'd spend north of $70,000 for all the developers. Lovable has made it possible for me to do all of the building out for this for a few $1,000s, maybe a little bit more than a few $1,000s. There's so much in this site, and it's taken me months to build. I'm giving every student a license to use this site, which is saving them thousands upon thousands of dollars on their own site. I'm giving them ad assets. I'm giving them coaching on branding and storytelling. I'm giving them all the hand-holding that they need to get this thing done. Peptide suppliers, distribution solutions, packaging, labeling, all of it. And I made a post. I said to my private community, hey guys, I'm going to be teaching how to start this business. And people started DMing me saying, hey, you've made me so much as an Airbnb coach that I trust you and I want to do this next. And the truth is, peptide is such an easy industry right now. Everybody's interested in them that I honestly believe it's a great space to be in. And I honestly believe that people are going to make purchases from humans that they feel most related to. So people who will buy peptides from me will be dudes around 40, business guys, maybe look a little Eastern European like me, thinning hair, like oily skin, the whole thing. But I'm not a female. And yeah, I could take RCATs and I could take Fish Audio and I can take Kling 3.0 and I can make some like fake influencers, and I can have chicks in the gym holding a phone and saying that they take peptides, right? I can make AI slop and maybe even make it look almost passable. I could do that. But real humans who want a real relationship with somebody, who are truly discerning, are going to look for a non-AI generated video of a real female talking about their real story about how they really used peptides. And we can tell the difference. Kids, teenagers, young adults, they can tell the difference between fake and between real. And that is the most powerful thing that anybody can do in any space, especially a product-based business that is talking about transformations. My personal story of peptides, I've got an audience that will buy from me. But a girl boss or a guy who's like a surfer or anybody else with any other story, they have a market that they can sell to based on identity, right? Based on personal identity. And that's why I started my coaching program to teach people to start their own peptide businesses, because those people aren't people that I can sell anyway, at least not with my thesis on how to make real easy money in the world of AI. And I am set out to prove it. And so what I'm saying to you is you have an identity. People see you a certain way. Are you man, woman? What age are you? What income bracket do you look like you're from? What quirks do you have? Like I made a post on TikTok once and I was watching Hunter x Hunter and it was on the screen behind me. And I do like a selfie video talking about something. And the fact that Meruem and Komogi, Gon Killua, like they're all flashing in the background of the screen. People start talking about Hunter x Hunter, go, oh my God, he watches anime, that whatever. And I got followers based on the fact that I had a specific taste in anime. This is the kind of specificity that we are going for that is really hard to replicate with AI. So no matter what you sell, the way that you're going to sell it will be through authenticity. It's needed now more than ever. And if you've earned your stripes as a developer, as a personal trainer, as a coach in any way, in any sort of leadership position, that you have any right to talk about society in any way or any right to talk about a topic in any way of authority, you will lean into personal authority first. And if you don't have that, you'll lean into personal testimony second. But those personal stories, you can write that down. Your stories are what's going to sell. And the reason why your stories are going to be what's going to sell is because a real, true human story is going to cut the lane and find a path that AI-generated stories, they can't go, because certain customers will not listen to the AI stuff. And when you think about running ads, that personal story of a real human, that ad spend is going to be much more efficient than all of the AI slop that's here. And here's another bonus for you. My personal story ad spend, I can target people who've responded well to the AI slop too. I can find audiences of people who are interested in a topic enough because the AI slop does all the paving for me. Oh, this person's interested in peptides. Oh, this person is interested in business XYZ, but they don't have trust for these companies. They responded well to the content initially, but the AI slop couldn't build the trust. So then my content comes in behind it and can drive it home. with a real human story that really does build trust. So AI will be to your advantage because it can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. All these other companies that are using RCATs to make fake videos, they're going to fail, and your personal story is going to be the one that wins. So with that said, if you're looking to start a business, there's a couple that I can teach you from my personal experience. And one is Airbnb, been doing that 11 years. It's really good right now. And I've got a whole channel on that, and I'll tell you about why it's good on that channel. Link will be down below. And I also sell peptides successfully, and I can teach you how to sell peptides as well. I have another channel on AI. You'll see that here too. But that aside, thank you for listening to this tangent. I hope that you found it valuable. In the near future, on the content side of this, we're going to talk about running Facebook ads. I think it's going to be important because I'll be doing a lot of that with my peptide students. And on the AI side, we're going to talk more about the softwares that I'm building and how I'm selling it, doing something that we call token arbitrage. I really am excited to teach you guys that. So subscribe to either channel. And as always, I'll see you on the other side.